This is Ducati's Trail Raiz, a motorcycle with a Dakar-inspired retro look, packed with technology and ready for any adventure. And in this video, you'll learn everything about it. Technical features, performance in the city and on the road, fuel consumption, and insurance cost. My honest opinion with the pros and cons, and the price. If you're new here, I'm Amanda Pagliari. And this is the most charming motorcycle channel in Brazil, which also brings you the most complete two-wheel videos with everything you need to know. So go ahead and hit the like button and subscribe to the channel. Although it has a minimalist look, the Desert X draws attention wherever it goes and has a design inspired by the competition motorcycles of the Dakar Rally. Especially the Cagiva Elephant, and here we have, mainly right here, its identity, this double round headlight, which is very characteristic of the Desert X and of course of the Cagiva. And we also have a look here that is at the same time muscular and very compact. So here we have the metal tank and all this plastic fairing to finish off the motorcycle. The round mirrors also give it that retro vibe, and what's really cool here is the integration of the lighting set. Very beautiful, right? It's really distinctive. You can tell it's the Desert X when you see it on the street. Here's the headlight, right? Integrated with the windshield, which is rigid, and here you have this whole black design with Ducati written on it. It's really interesting. Its lighting is full LED, both the headlight assembly and the turn signals, and what's nice is that the turn signals are really well positioned here. So, if you drop the motorcycle, it's unlikely you'll hit and have to replace the turn signals, which probably aren't cheap, you know? We have hand guards that come standard with the motorcycle, and it also comes with a skid plate down here, look, made of aluminum. That's really nice because it's not plastic, so it's more durable. The fender is underneath, right? Since it has the Dakar-style neck, it doesn't have a high fender, but rather a low fender. This one here is plastic. With this protection here on the fork, it shields from dust and rocks and also gives it a better finish. Here at the rear, we have a very minimalist tail section. There's no handle here for the passenger to hold on to, just this small handle at the back that helps you maneuver the motorcycle and also secure luggage. All right, I like how the exhaust is set pretty high here, you know? It's a simple muffler, not from any brand, but you can go through water without much trouble. And the Desert X doesn't come with any other type of protector, whether it's for the engine, fairing, or a center stand. The seat is a split type, so here we have the rider's part and here the passenger's part. And what's nice is that it's a unique texture for both seats, and it's non-slip, which is really cool. There are also some patterns here. Desert X is also marked here on the seat. Well, let's get on. Its height is 87.5 centimeters from the seat to the ground. I'm 1.77 meters tall, so as you can see, I can put both feet on the ground. The cool thing is that the Desert X is really narrow here, so I don't have to keep my legs wide open, and even just on my tiptoes, I can already touch the ground, right? And of course, the foot peg is right here on my leg, on my calf, so there's no way around it. It's a centered foot peg, and I end up hitting it all the time. It's normal for bikes, especially for off-road, you end up all bruised. And here is the passenger's retractable foot peg, both the passenger's and the rider's foot pegs. You have this rubberized finish that you can remove, right? And these little studs, right, which are there to give grip and hold. And the cool thing is that this foot peg here for the rider has a larger base, giving more stability. Imagine that you're wearing boots. It definitely helps a lot and gives a good riding position with the foot peg centered. So you come here, your leg stays at a slight angle here, about 45 degrees or 70 degrees, more or less 70. 45? Is it 70? More or less. I'm not a geometry expert, but anyway, you stay in a fairly relaxed position here with your legs and arms. I liked it because there's a really good angle here, so you have a really nice geometry for the rider. It's important to mention that big trail bikes end up being more accessible, let's say, for tall people, right? Short men and women, unfortunately, don't really have a way to ride the bike because of the height. And so for a tall person like me, I can have a really good riding triangle here. So the riding position here is great for riding while standing up. I can easily do it here, see? The tank helps me a lot. I can grip it here and have stability. Passenger seat, let me sit here on the passenger seat. I've already come here, right? I've already put my hand, but I don't have anywhere to hold on. Maybe back here, but it's kind of uncomfortable and it's a really narrow seat. We know that bikes more suited for off-road aren't recommended for passengers. Hold on, I'll talk more about that in a minute. For those this motorcycle is intended for, it's a compact bike overall. Altogether, it weighs 223 kilos in total, including fluids and its fuel tank. It has a capacity for 21 liters of gasoline. And the cool thing is that the fuel cap isn't centered here, right? It's asymmetrical, positioned toward the right side. For the first time in modern history, Ducati has put a 21-inch rim, proving that the Desert X is made for off-roading. We have a 21-inch rim in the front and an 18-inch rim in the rear. Of course, mixed-use tires with deeper treads to give traction on dirt. And the cool thing is that they're tubeless tires, and the spokes are attached on the outside of the wheel. Regarding the brakes, in the front, it uses Brembo M50 monoblock calipers with 4-piston radial calipers gripping the dual 320mm discs. Basically, it's a sport bike braking capability, but for off-road. And in the rear, we have a single disc with 205 millimeters with a floating Brembo caliper. All of this is managed by Bosch's cornering ABS. So you can brake in the corner, there won't be a problem. You shouldn't brake, but if you need to, it will help you. By the way, the anti-lock braking system ABS has several usage levels that you can choose from starting at level 3. That would be the normal level, the stable ABS, safe for you to use on road, on asphalt. Then you have level 2, which is a little more for off-road. You can use it here on that hard-packed dirt, you know? But you can still feel the ABS working. At level 1, you have ABS that still works only on the front wheel, but it no longer works on the rear wheel. And then you have level 0, which would be ABS turned off. However, you can only fully turn off the ABS here on the DESERTX in the 2 riding modes for off-road, which are Enduro and also Rally. On the front suspension, we have an inverted telescopic fork from KYB with a very robust diameter of 46 millimeters, and it has a long travel of 230 millimeters. And it's fully adjustable for compression and rebound, but manually. In the rear, the monoshock absorber is also from KYB, and it's fully adjustable. And you have this knob here that makes it easier for you to adjust the preload. And the total travel is 220 millimeters. And the cool thing is that it has a ground clearance of 25 centimeters. The heart of the machine is the renowned Testa Stretta 11-degree engine. It's an L-twin engine with 937 cubic centimeters, liquid-cooled, and with desmodromic valve timing. Unlike others on the market and competitors that lost horsepower, the Desert X delivers full power. It has 110 horsepower of maximum power and 9.4 kilogram force meters of torque. The gearbox has 6 speeds and has been reworked with shorter first and second gears for off-road use. The final drive is by chain, and it comes with a bi-directional quick shifter, up and down. In other words, you can shift up and down at any time. You don't need to pull the clutch lever here, but if you want to use the clutch lever, it's a slipper and assisted clutch. That means the assisted technology makes it smoother when you pull the lever, and the slipper technology prevents the rear wheel from locking up when you downshift abruptly. The dashboard is 100% digital. It's a 5-inch color thin film transistor screen. And here we have this vertical orientation, which is perfect for you to read while standing up, just like the rally competition bikes. And we have several pieces of information here on this dashboard. The tachometer, which is circular right here in the center, the speed indicator, speedometer, and the gear indicator down here. And here we have information both at the top and at the bottom. Here we have the fuel gauge. It has the bar, but now since it's in reserve, it's showing me that I have 23 kilometers of range left. And here at the bottom, we have the onboard computer information and also the riding modes. It's in touring mode, as you can see here, and we have 4 riding modes: touring, sport, urban, and wet, which would be for rain. And as I change it here, you can see that both the engine delivery changes. For example, in sport mode, it's at full. There's traction control, anti-wheelie, ABS, and also engine braking, so you have all the information here. And besides that, we have modes for off-road, enduro, and also rally. And you can notice here that in enduro mode, the anti-wheelie is off. So you can do wheelies as much as you want. And here in rally mode, the ABS is set to 1, but you can turn it off. Just select rally mode, press the ABS button here, and then you can turn it off completely. And the cool thing is that in this rally configuration, you have a screen that's more focused on competition with more basic information, let's say. So it's nice that you can see the standard mode, right? For the road, the tachometer, and everything else. And also the rally mode, which simulates the Trip Master from competition bikes. In fact, look, the bar is back here already. Up here, we have the setting menu, and down here, trip information. I'm going to use the left handlebar here so you can access all the information down here. Okay, trip 1. Then you have the fuel consumption, you have the average speed, then the trip time, you also have trip 2, and here you have the instant fuel consumption, and here you have the total odometer, okay? And the range is how far you can go with the gas you have in the tank, your autonomy. Then, by pressing everything up here, you get to the menu, and then you have several pieces of information, like here the riding modes, right? Then you have to exit here by pressing back. You have display indicator information here, like for the fuel, you can set it to show the range or the level, so it's pretty interesting. So there are several pieces of information here about the light, right? And the pin code is for you to connect. Then you have the date, and it's cool that you have tire pressure monitoring here, right? You can check it. Anyway, guys, the dashboard here is really complete. Here you have the key indicator, which has an electronic sensor, and that's it. Here on the left side, you have a 12-volt outlet for you to recharge your devices. This part here is very prominent on top of the tank. It's the steering damper, which prevents your motorcycle from wobbling, right? It shakes at high speeds, very useful. Then when you move it, look, the little piston goes this way, the little piston goes that way. Cool, right? Here on the right side, we have the switches to cut the engine current, here for ignition, and here we have information about the position light. And back here, we have the grip heater. One thing I didn't mention is that this panel here doesn't come with connectivity as standard, okay? And the grip heater is also an accessory. There's a little button here, but you need to buy this accessory separately for it to actually work. And here on the left side, we have the horn button, the turn signal to the left, to the right. The button here for you to access, right? And to keep the cruise control. And here is the button for you to access the driving modes and also the dashboard information. And here in the back, you have the ABS button, the hazard lights, and also the headlight and high beam flasher button. The clutch lever has reach adjustment just like the brake lever. And now that I've shown you everything about the Desert X, it's time to ride it in the city and also on the highway. And if you're enjoying this video, how about leaving a like, huh? It really helps me make more videos like this and motivates me. That way, I know you liked it. After all, I'm sure this is one of the most complete videos about this motorcycle that you'll find on the internet. Now hop on and ride with me. city, the Desert X surprisingly surprised me. Surprisingly, it goes really well between cars, of course, within reason. It's a big trail bike, it's a big trail, but man, it's light here. Oh wow, it's light, agile, and has great handling. Look at this, guys, it's so light. It doesn't even feel like it weighs around 220 kilos. But you know how it is, right? The engine is getting really hot here. Wow, it's heating up a lot, seriously. Wow, and it's more on the right side. The left side gets hot too, but it's hotter on the right side. Well, it's a motorcycle that has a drier engine like this. It's not an engine that suddenly surges with power and constantly needs to be controlled, no. I found it nice and easy to ride, okay? It's not an engine that challenges you so you can release the clutch here. It's not an engine that's going to be jerking all the time, right? Like a jumpy engine, but look, you accelerate and the engine responds. It's not an engine that's focused on top speed. It's actually a torquey engine. But man, this engine is powerful. That's Ducati standard, right? Ducati has this characteristic of delivering aggressive bikes, and with the Desert X, it wouldn't be any different. So it's a bike with a powerful engine. But it doesn't scare me. It's not an engine that's going to give me a headache or wear me out. Wow, anything I do here, the bike is already going to take off, right? So I like that, but it's an engine that has a lot of low-end torque. Ergonomics here, the riding triangle, it's comfortable, really comfortable. The seat has a bit of padding here. Out on the road, I'm going to tell you about long trips. But look, the smoothness of this first gear, releasing the clutch smoothly here, it has a quick shifter, right? So I have a habit of releasing the clutch here, but look, see how smooth it is. See? 38 on the bike, see, smooth, see, that's what's good. On dirt, you don't stay at high speed, not over 100, you ride at low speed. So the bike, it needs to be stable, it needs to be manageable, it needs to be easy to handle, right? They're at low speed, otherwise you're going to get in trouble on dirt, right? It has to help you, not get in your way. And here for lane splitting, look, it surprised me. I also like the suspension. I've already gone through some rough patches and the bike really surprised me. You can adjust it and make it harder or softer. It brakes well too, brakes really well. The caliper grips nicely here and it's exciting, right, guys? This engine here is really awesome. It's really awesome. Well, in the city, it rides well, okay? I was joking, right? That surprisingly, it surprised me. I was expecting a clunkier bike, but no, it has a compact design, the weight is okay, and most importantly, the handling, so it really surprised me. I know this isn't its natural habitat, but it did well here at low speeds. Look, it's already on reserve here, see? 45 kilometers to go, according to my riding style. I'm about to hit the road I'll show you, and I'll also take a little dirt road to see how it does. Yeah, but that's it, guys. For now, the windshield isn't bothering me. What tires me out the most here in the city is the heat on my legs. The rearview mirror here, wow, you can see really well with this rearview mirror. And that's it. Here in the city, she did really well, I expected less, I expected nothing, and she delivered everything. And look, I wanted to say something. For standing riding, I think this is one of the best bikes to ride standing up that I've ever tried. It's very easy to ride standing up here. It fits perfectly. But now let's hit the road. I'm not even going to push the top speed of the Desert X here, but I can tell you it easily reaches 190. We know that trail bikes aren't meant to be sport bikes with top speed and all that. However, I found it interesting that the Desert X has a really exciting engine. Seriously, it's very exciting. I'm in sport mode now, and I can tell you it's a delight to ride. It's really interesting. And the heat, although it's not that really bad city heat, I'm feeling heat on my legs. It's on the road, it's a delight, it really excites you when it comes to comfort. Guys, the seat is hard. Don't expect miracles from this seat, okay? It's hard, and even though it has a slightly thicker foam, it could be worse. I think there are worse seats, but the seat is hard, okay? On long trips, you're going to get tired. Yes, it is, but I found the comfort of its ergonomics to be very good. The motorcycle has very good ergonomics for riding on the road. It's a bike that doesn't tire you out, okay? And the windshield is bad, right, guys? The windshield is just for show, because actually it throws all the wind, at least for me, right? It throws all the wind onto my helmet. In general, the dashboard has great visibility, so I can see the information really well here. In sport mode, the bike is very spicy, yeah, but it gets hot, right? Unfortunately, Ducati also has accessories for it, right? You can equip it with saddlebags and other items. So you can equip your Desert X, but that's it, guys. In general, on the road, don't expect much comfort. Off-road, it performs really well with perfect handling and low-end torque, just so you can tackle climbs with plenty of power. And you also have engine stability, so you can handle it at low speeds without the engine stalling. It always stays responsive, so first, second, third gear, it's really good. You can use second gear here and go straight ahead. But now, let's wrap up the video with the pros and cons, fuel consumption, and insurance cost. And who is the Desert X for? Well, in my opinion, it's for someone who will use it mostly off-road, about 70-30, 70% off-road, 30% on-road. So, Amanda, but that doesn't mean you can't travel with it. Look, you actually can. However, just to mention a downside, the seat is hard. You'll be uncomfortable. You don't have good aerodynamic protection here. And if you're riding with a passenger, it's also not great. Look at the structure of this bike. There's nowhere to put luggage. So for long trips, even to another country, you might have a bit of a hard time. The ideal is to use it more for off-road since it's made for that, but it does well on the road as you saw. I think the main issue is protection and comfort, but if you want comfort, Ducati itself has the Multistrada family category. For you, then yes, to travel on road on the asphalt with a lot of comfort. I like this style of big trail motorcycle, more trail than big because it's a compact bike, so I prefer more compact, lighter bikes, not those huge, bulky ones. I feel better, and I know a lot of people also like this style, but unfortunately you have this more compact bike proposal, and then people put a board-like seat, a low windshield with no adjustment, and you can't attach luggage. You have all those downsides, right? For a motorcycle in this category, but to sum it up, it's more for off-road use. About the fuel consumption, there's no way around it. The more you accelerate, the more it's going to consume. And this bike with 110 horsepower, guys, it's such a thrill to accelerate this bike. I didn't even show everything I accelerated. But it really tempts you, right? The more you twist here, open the throttle, there's no way around it. The fuel consumption just keeps dropping there on the dashboard, right? But on a city highway average, accelerating well, it got an average of 16 kilometers per liter. Of course, we can get more or less than that. If you have a Desert X, write down below what kind of fuel consumption you get with it, and considering 16 kilometers per liter. And with the 21-liter fuel tank, you have an average range of about 336 kilometers that you can travel with the full tank. Now, I'll talk about the positive and negative points of the Desert X here at Ducati, starting with the design. Look, it's a beautiful look, a timeless design here. Even the little cat came to admire the look, right? Okay? The look is really cute. See, you liked it, huh? Hey, if you're a cat lover, make sure to leave a like, okay? How cute. While we keep going here with the kitty, guys, the design is a really nice positive point. Another good thing is the skid plate. Look, the kitty just walked by here. The skid plate is made of aluminum, unlike many brands that use a plastic skid plate, which doesn't really protect much. Another good thing is the 21-liter tank. Okay, since the fuel consumption isn't the best in the world, right? But a 21-liter tank already helps, without losing the motorcycle's purpose, which is to be more compact and lighter. Another positive point is the onboard technology. So you have anti-wheeling, you have ABS at various levels, you can even turn it off completely, traction control anyway. Technology here for this adventure bike. The dashboard is very complete, very beautiful. I really liked it. A positive point is the riding modes that really change the bike's performance. It's not just about more power or less power, no. And I like that in off-road mode, in rally mode, it changes, right? I found the map configuration really interesting. So you have riding mode, sport mode, and this bike goes really fast. So that's a positive point. The handling is another good thing. You see a big bike, which is compact, but the handling is really nice for riding through traffic. I really didn't have any trouble. That's a positive point. The brakes really surprised me in a good way. This bike grips a lot, really. The whole setup here is very well tuned. I think it even brakes too much. It locks up. This bike, it locks up. It also includes a steel braided hose, which I forgot to mention earlier. But it has a steel braided hose, which, unlike conventional rubber hoses, prevents expansion and because of that, maintains braking power even on hot days. The suspensions are also another positive point, right? They're really well tuned. Okay, it's not electronic suspension, right? So you can't adjust it there, but given the motorcycle's purpose, it's fine, okay? The competitors are more or less in the same range, and that's a highlight, right? Another positive point is the rear suspension, which you can easily adjust with the knob. Another positive point is the key here, look with an electronic immobilizer. In other words, if thieves make an identical copy of this motorcycle or mixer, right? If they try to stick a screwdriver in here and turn the ignition, the motorcycle won't start. It doesn't prevent theft 100%, but it makes things harder for thieves. And if it makes it harder, Amandina likes it then. Positive point, the engine. I think that besides the design, the engine is the big star of this motorcycle, an engine with a sporty profile. It's a totally torquey bike, great for off-road, but just look at how wonderful the engine is when you really accelerate on the road. I like this bike, guys. I really liked it. It's not an engine that's, oh my God, super fast at the top end. It's not a Panigale, right? But I felt a lot of power, so you really feel the delivery when you accelerate in sport mode. I really like this engine. Do you agree or disagree? Have you ever ridden it? Right down here below, it's a premium motorcycle. So, a positive point for the finish. Wherever you look, you see the parts fitting together very well. You can see the name Ducati in several parts of the bike. You can see the care from Ducati. So that's a positive point when they launched it, right? The director of BMW said it had a kind of scratch-resistant paint and all that. In practice, from what I'm seeing, I don't think this paint worked very well, right? I mention it, but I'm not going to count it as a positive point. Another positive point is that it's prepared for off-road. I really like the riding mode. You can choose it, and it handles bumps, loose stones, the cycling really well. What surprised me is the engine, which is powerful. It really delivers, that punchy power from Ducati. However, off-road, you get a slightly more linear delivery at low revs in low gear. And with that, it helps you have more control off-road, where you usually ride at lower speeds than on asphalt. So I really liked it. And last but not least, it might seem like a silly feature, but for me, it makes all the difference. Of course, it depends on each person, but for Amandina's size. I think this bike is one of the best for riding standing up. There are bikes made for off-road that I tried and they just didn't fit. They hurt my leg. But this one for riding standing up, for my height and everything, it fit perfectly. That makes all the difference for you to have the right control of the bike. Do you agree or disagree? List any more positives below. Next, let's cover the negatives. Now, starting with the first one, I think it's the worst, which is that the engine gets hot. It doesn't get as hot as the Monster, but it does get hot. So, in the city, you're going to struggle. Oh, Amanda, but it's not made for the city. Okay, I agree that it's not made for you to ride in traffic, stopping and going at 30 kilometers per hour. But on the dirt trail, you're going to struggle since you won't be riding at high speed. So anyway, that's my negative point. And the second one is the seat. I know its purpose is to ride off-road. I don't know what else, but the seat is often hard, and for you to get to Canastra, you'll need to ride about 200 or 300 kilometers on asphalt. And that means your butt is going to end up square, like SpongeBob, so that's a negative point. And adding to that, when it comes to the seat, it's not good for carrying a passenger, not that you can't take short rides with it. But besides the passenger not having anywhere to fit, the seat here is shorter and the tail is more minimalist. The passenger is going to have a hard time here, okay? So, if you're going to carry a passenger often, maybe this isn't the best bike for you. Another downside, in my opinion, still related to going against the bike's design, is that the windshield is low and doesn't have any adjustment. So, in my opinion, they could have made a small, low windshield there for you to ride off-road, but also have the option to adjust it when you're riding on road. A downside, in my opinion, considering the price of the Desert X here, is that you don't get the connectivity module as standard. You have to pay extra for it. I saw that it's over 4,000 Rs. So what's going on? Ducati already offers connectivity through the app with your phone. However, you still need to buy this module. For the price of the bike, I'll tell you, I think it should come from the factory, okay? Just like that. Another downside is that the heated grips are also sold separately. How come? So I mentioned this to you earlier, right, that there's this issue, and I think it's a downside for that reason. So considering the price of the motorcycle, do you agree or disagree? Write it down below. Now I'm going to bring up a downside that's not really about the bike itself. It's actually about our country, the network, and everything else. I think it's our financial situation, right? It's just that after-sale service ends up being a little expensive, so keep that in mind because it's not enough to just save up your coins in a piggy bank. You have a premium bike, you have a loaner bike, an imported one, so you might run into some issues, like waiting for parts, expensive parts, and all that. So keep that in mind. And the last downside, but not least, also isn't about the bike and isn't about Ducati either. It's actually about our country. Either the lack of safety or the lack of commitment from the authorities to our country. I'm talking about crime. Even though this bike here has a more retro look, right? Modern retro there, don't be fooled. It's a big trail bike for those who like big trail bikes. Unfortunately, it's kind of like us big trail riders. We end up being a target. So it's very important that you know this. It's not that you shouldn't buy one. I, for example, have one, but it's for you to take this into consideration. The area where you ride and whether you'll be riding alone or not. There are a lot of people who are getting into the world of motorcycles for the first time and don't have this awareness. And Amandinha is here to warn you. And of course, you can make the best purchasing decision whether it's good for you or not. Are there any more negative points? Write them down below. And it's available in 2 colors, with a suggested retail price starting at 106,990 Rs. So, what did you think of the Desert X? Write it down below. Tell me everything, don't hide anything. And if you own one, also leave your testimony, your story in the comments to help other future owners. Up here, I left a really cool video for you, okay? And down here, I left another one that I'm sure you'll like. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't yet and become a member for benefits and giveaways. The link's in the description. Leave your like, your thumbs up here on the video to help me and motivate me to make more videos like this. See you next time. Moto Kiss.